Hi everyone. Okay, let's get started. So my name is Blessing Adesiji, Devrel at Seku. I'm based in London, so I'm focused on the Europe, Middle East, and Africa region for Seku. And my role essentially at Seku is helping developers like yourself build on the Seku developer services with USDC and Seku stablecoins. I've been at ETHGlobal hackathon for this is my third hackathon, right? So I'm really familiar with the energy, the opportunity, the problem solving nature of ETHGlobal hackathon. So what I'm going to do essentially is I'm going to briefly talk about Circle Developer Services and then focus on applications, the bounties that you can contribute to be able to win prizes in the circle category. I think that's going to be like really helpful for you to understand how to submit prizes towards the bounty. So I've got about 15 minutes and then 5 minutes for questioning. So I'll just try and power through my slides and then get into the applications, the use cases, the bounties that we are expecting so that you know how to submit a worthy application to the team. So I'll start with the quickly talk about the mission. Like Circle's mission is to raise global economic prosperity through frictionless exchange of value. And Circle is a financial platform company that enables borderless movements, money movement, and access to stable dollar store of value, all powered by regulated stablecoins. So when we talk about Circle developer services, this is what I want you to have in your mind. Like this is what I want you to have etched to your mind. And Circle Developer Services, if you look at the base layer, you see all the supported blockchains from and because this is ETHGlobal, we're focused on EVM compatible blockchains. So now going on top of that, the developer services, and I'll break down all the elements that you have in the developer services. But essentially, we have wallets, we have contracts, we have Paymaster, and we have CCTP. Don't worry if this is the first time that you're hearing of some of these applications or some of these products. I'll do my best to break it down so you understand, and then we'll move into the examples and the bounties that you'll submit to the team. So you know how to contribute to that. And we've got like detailed documentation, sample applications, videos, resources that you can leverage so that you can get started building easily. So that's why I didn't come to walk through like demo right here. We have like a lot of examples that you can essentially clone or fork and then start building on top of as you submit bounties back to the team. So starting with the wallet, right? So wallet infrastructure that we support at Circle, we have three three different infrastructure models of wallets that you can think of. We have the first one, which is developer controlled wallet. We've got user controlled wallet, and we have modular wallet. Now, developer controlled wallet, essentially, I want you to think of this as excuse me, essentially a wallet that allows developers to control the application, the interactions, transactions, operations on behalf of the user. Say, for example, you're at this hackathon, you'd want to build an application for normies or for like normal users who they don't want to get bogged down by the complexity of the blockchains, like signing a message, authorizing transactions. You would use a developer controlled wallet. So you can build a payment platform or AI agent use cases where agents trade on behalf of the users. And of course, because of that, you'd want to give agents the autonomy to carry out the transactions on behalf of the users. So you would use a developer controlled wallet. Then the user controlled wallet. Just like as it says, the user controls the key operations with easy access to recovery. So there's a PIN code, there's an authentication mechanism where you have like email, social sign-in, right, all embedded into user controlled wallet. So you can build essentially an application where the user can sign in with their email or like Google sign in or like their social login essentially, and then support blockchain interactions, and then they can have access to a recovery mechanism that you can connect to the application. So in case the user forgets kind of maybe like a PIN code, because they can also set their PIN code, they can recover their access. Now, modular wallet. So modular wallet, I want you to think of this as smart contract account. Modular smart contract account essentially is a wallet that allows you, gives you the flexibility of adding smart contract layer that would allow you offer lots more customizability, right? Allows you to maybe like allow the developer to configure some set operations for transactions. So that modular wallet offer deep more flexibilities when it comes to the wallet infrastructure. So these are the three key infrastructure models, right, that we offer at Circle, and you can build with that during the hackathon. So gas station. So gas station is embedded into developer wallet, developer controlled wallet, user controlled wallet, where you can essentially support the user for gas. So you can perform gasless transactions, right? Like I said, you want to build an application for normal people where they just want to transact, right? They don't want to go source native tokens somewhere else to be able to offer or to be able to carry out transactions on your applications. You can essentially create a smart contract account that uses gas station baked in, and you would sponsor gas fees on behalf of the users. So compliance engine. So compliance engine is also a part of this infrastructure where you can have customizable programmability enforced screening to flag risky transaction in real time. For example, say you are building an application for borrowing and lending, right? What you can do is you can use compliance engine to scan the address of a particular user and see if there's if there's any risk that you should be aware of, and you can do all this with the compliance engine API. And this is also connected to the bounty of what we're expecting you to submit, all of which I would explain shortly. So moving on top of that stack, if you remember, there is CCTP, which is cross-chain transfer protocol. This is really interesting because this offers ability for you to move USDC from one chain to another chain, right? And we now offer something called CCTP v2. So CCTP v2 allows you to experience faster than finality USDC transfers from Ethereum to its layer 2 blockchains, all secured by Circle. So you can have a source chain, right? A user is on a source chain and wants to send USDC to another user on a destination chain. They can use cross-chain transfer protocol to make that happen seamlessly. So you can burn USDC on the source chain and mint the equivalent amount of USDC on the destination chain using CCTP. And with V2, it's fast, right, compared to CCTP V1. So, and CCTP v2, a lot of the blockchain that we do support, you can find that in the documentation with the link as shown, all of which is readily available for you to contribute to the bounty. So now, Paymaster. So Paymaster is really interesting because Paymaster allows you to offer permissionless on-chain utility that enables the users to pay gas fees in USDC. Remember the example that I talked about earlier on, where you have a payment application and you don't want your user to go out there and source ETH native token to be able to pay for gas fees. They can pay for gas fees using USDC, and Paymaster lets you do that. So we've got like quick start, detailed example, code example that you can use to get started and integrate Circle Paymaster into your application. So essentially, I have this diagram to explain quickly how Circle Paymaster works. So the user initiates USDC transaction, right, with the intent of sending USDC to a recipient that would receive the USDC payment. So Circle Paymaster receives USDC from the user, and then the blockchain receives native token from the Paymaster. So essentially, you've abstracted the need for the user to go source native token, and they can settle the transaction using gas fees. So it's somewhat akin or similar to the normal transaction fees that we have in the Web2 world. So you can present that kind of interaction or that kind of experience to your user using Circle Paymaster. So I'll just quickly, because I'm really against time, I'll move quickly to the bounty so you understand how to submit a worthy application back to the team. So if you go to the ETHGlobal website /event/can, you see Circle. So click on Circle and that will take you to our bounties page. And on the bounties page, we have 4 important categories, right? So we've got the first one, which of course, we are expecting 2 solid submission for the first place and the second place, and that build a multi-chain USDC payment system. Remember when I explained cross-chain transfer protocol that lets you facilitate the movement of USDC from one chain to the other chain? This is where that product or the Circle developer product would really shine, because you build an application that enables multi-chain USDC payment and payout using fast transfers from CCTP v2. So I've got a lot of examples, a couple of examples of use cases that you can think of. So you can think of liquidity provider intent system that enables liquidity providers to send and receive USDC across multiple chains. You can think of multi-chain treasure management system to help businesses manage USDC balances across multiple chains. So everything is based on the primitive that there's a source chain, there's a destination chain, and you can perform the swaps or the cross-chain transfers using CCTP v2. So we're expecting really a user-friendly application. It could be a mobile application, it could be a web application, it could even be a protocol, right, that really solves this problem as highlighted here. And we'll be picking 2 prizes here. So the first place going for $2,500, and then the second place going for 1,500 USDC. So the next category is enable end user to pay for gas using USDC. Remember that I just explained Paymaster, Circle Paymaster, that lets you support the user to pay for gas using USDC, kind of like a transaction fees that you have in the normal world, in the normal Web2 world, right? So you build an application where the user, they don't necessarily have to go source for native token, native ETH. They can settle transactions in USDC, right? Example is DeFi protocol that enables USDC as default gas payment token for transaction activity in decentralized applications, or simplified transactions where you have make it easier for users to perform transactions in USDC or other token networks with the gas fees paid exactly from their USDC balance. So again, we have the documentation. There's a quick start with like examples that is easy for you to get started with to build with Circle Paymaster. So the other one is to create a gasless experience. Now, the difference between both of them is that here you're actually using Circle Wallet in connection with the gas station. So remember that I explained the different Circle Wallet infrastructure model, where we have Circle developer controlled wallet, user controlled wallet, and the modular wallet, right? So you combine this with the gas station to create a fully functional gas-sponsored experience, similar to the one I just explained, where the user don't have to go source for native token. They can just carry out transactions on your application or your protocol using a gas station and Circle Wallet. And then the last one is to build a smart wallet with dynamic security control. So I already talked about our compliance engine. For example, I said if you are building a borrowing and lending platform, right, you can have compliance engine baked in, and that would screen the transaction, that would look at the address and highlight any risky information that you should take note of. And you do this leveraging Circle Wallet and compliance engine all together. So we have examples that has been noted right here, and that would enable you to build something that, for example, risk-based authentication, where you implement a dynamic authentication where transaction requires passkey authentication and implemented risk policies. So with modular wallet, you can have passkey, you can create kind of like a passkey authentication for the user, and before the carry out transaction, you've implemented some other risk policy that is being checked for before the carry out transactions. So thank you for joining the workshop. It's time for questions. Thank you. Second. Oh wow, thank you. Yes, thank you. Yeah, yes, please.
Thanks a lot. I'm wondering how the compliance is done with the SDK. So it's like you will have the like blacklist or something like that.
Say again.
How the compliance?
Yes. Okay, like there's an API. So if you go to, let me pull it up. If you go to developers.circle.com, you can go to wallets and then, yes. So transaction screening, right? And you can have that baked into your wallet transactions where for every transaction, you're scanning for like, you are scanning the transaction for any risk base and anything you have to take note of. So everything is documented in the documentation and you can take a look at it. Yeah, yeah. Please give her a mic. He's with the mic.
Hi. Oh,
Yes.
I didn't think that I was that loud. I'm small and I'm a lot louder than I thought I was. Hi, I'm Jenna. I'm from
Yeah.
Circle as well on the ecosystem team with Blessing. I just wanted to provide some additional context around compliance engine. So Circle has legacy compliance data from the 10 or so years that we've been managing our Circle Mint product, which essentially allows enterprises to mint USDC at scale. So a combination of that compliance data coming in from all those transactions, as well as working with all of the major third-party compliance providers. This is essentially like where we're sourcing all of this data to inform when this could be a transaction that should be blocked. And then you are also able to provide, any additional intel. We have a quick start guide for our compliance engine that makes it really easy to get started. That can help, set up these off-the-shelf policies using that data, and you can also add to that as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Jenna. So she mentioned the quick start guide. So that's the result you get. So you get a result either denied with different actions, right? And the address and the chain. So this is the quick start guide that she's talking about. So you can use this to get started. Thank you.
Hi.
Yeah.
What's the difference between CCTP V1 and V2? Yeah.
Okay, right. So CCTP v2 allows faster than finality transfers, essentially fast transfers when you compare it to CCTP v1. But CCTP v2 it contains everything that v1 already has, but v1 doesn't have everything that CCTP v2 have, right? So you can essentially use CCTP v2 to provide standard transfer where it happens at normal time. It's not fast, right? But we're not taking any fees for that. But CCTP v2, if you want to do fast transfers where you want faster than finality transfer, you'd use CCTP v2 for that. And we're taking a tiny fee for that transfer to happen.
Okay, I know that
Yeah.
I use the CCTV V1 and it take several blocks to make sure the source chain finalization. Sorry.
Yeah.
And user have to ask the circle for the signature of
Attestation.
the burn event on source chain and relay that signature to destination chain.
Yeah.
And user have to do this on the CCTV V2 as well. Is a
Yes.
okay.
So CCTP v2 works similar to CCTP v1, right? There's a burn event, there's an attestation that is called in the middle, and then there's a destination chain where you meet the USDC. The only difference is that CCTP v2 is faster than finality. So for a transaction that would take 13 to 19 minutes from Ethereum to L2 chains, that would take 8 to 20 seconds for CCTP v2.
So for V2, you have
Yes.
only one block time to
Yes.
wait.
Yes, compared
Okay.
to CCTP v1.
but it is risky, right?
No. So Circle perform this for you, right? So you have to pay a certain on-chain fee to make that transaction fast. Does that make sense?
Okay, got it,
Yeah.
got it.
So
Okay,
and
thank you.
CCTP V2, like I said, it has the standard transfer and also the fast transfer. Right? So you can perform what you normally do on V1.
Okay, you can
do
keep
in
the
V2.
normal speed.
Exactly.
And you can choose to faster with.
Yes. You can
Okay,
choose
got
to
it,
faster.
got it.
Yes.
Okay,
So you
thank
can
you.
think of it like an upgrade. So for example, you were using iPhone 15, but you upgrade to iPhone 16.
Okay,
Does that make sense?
Got it. But users still have to relay the signature itself.
Yes.
Okay.
The attestation.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Attestation.
Yes. Any question? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Wish you guys good luck.